Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm about to feed him to the sharks right now. Get him hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. It's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.
Welcome to episode 25 of the BJJ Campaign Podcast. My name is Jeff Boone. I'm an A3, blue belt, one stripe.
This is Phil Coors, A2, blue belt, no stripes.
25th episode, Philly.
The big one.
Yeah, and you know, that means we've been doing it now for 6 months, the podcast.
Yeah.
Because we missed 1 week.
True.
In there.
Yeah.
So,
Can't
quite a
believe we missed that
milestone.
week.
I know. Yeah, happens.
That's impressive though. 6 months?
Yeah, it feels like we started yesterday.
Yeah, very recently.
Somebody asked me the other day, do you ever think you're going to not have things to talk about? I'm like, no, we talk about jiu-jitsu all the time.
Yeah.
We're always going to have stuff. We might talk about the same thing 10 times. I don't care.
Maybe people don't want to listen anymore, but we'll still talk.
Screw it. We're going to keep doing it. So today's article is by Avery Clements, and she writes about the 5 signs you're training in a healthy gym environment.
Yeah. I see some weird stuff online. Like, you'll just see questions. Like, people are cutting me with their toenails.
Yeah.
You know, and what do I do about it? And I don't know. I feel like we don't have those issues.
No, because Charlie gives them the nail clippers and says, cut your nails, you savage.
It's like any of those really weird examples. I'm always kind of really surprised that that's a thing. People have to deal with,
Here's the one that I find the funniest, and so happy that our policy is to wear rash guards. It's the one where they're like, the big hairy guys with no rash guard, you know, like the Will Ferrell, you know, the basketball, you know, whatever, he takes the belly to the face.
is that Long King Polly?
Yeah. That was it. But yeah, we just don't have that stuff. And folks, Phil and I are very lucky to train in a great gym environment. I did a little bit of research. Phil did none. And but we're very lucky in that we don't. All of these things are what our gym environment is. In other words, in the healthy respect. So let's just start with the first one. The academy is physically safe. You know, just kind of talking about training in an area that's free of debris and sharp corner structures, anything like that. You know, just a physically safe training environment. I can't imagine if you went in and we're going to do jiu-jitsu at a
Knife
place.
defenses, yes, in the middle.
Yeah, they just had a sword sticking out, you know, from the wall, you know. So that one, I mean, that's pretty visible from the first time you walk in the door.
Yeah.
And the second one's a super important one. All students are treated equally. So, you know, regardless of, you know, gender, race, whether you're a white belt or a black belt, you know, treating everyone equally. And, you know, again, if you walk in and you know, obviously everybody takes a healthy bit of ribbing in any training, but
Yeah.
that's just because people like you. You know, they're not likely to do that for the first day. But you know, if there's a toxic environment, if they, you know, really look down on their white belts or whatever, then you may, you know, think about another gym.
Yeah, I feel like we've been lucky, obviously, not ever having to deal with that. But again, that's another weird one. kind of goes with the word. I guess wherever you go, you kind of pay attention to that, how everybody treats each other and stuff. And I've heard of maybe like MMA style places having more aggressive roles or styles when they roll, you know, or
That's
how they
coming up.
train necessarily, but yeah, treating everybody the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's just something. I've been to a lot of different academies, and I don't think that there's been one where I've seen kind of any of these. So that speaks to the overall quality that's out there, you know, for your opportunities to train jiu-jitsu. So I think that really speaks to that.
Yeah, I don't think that everybody I meet that does it is usually very cool.
Mm-hmm. You're right. The third one is your coaches are approachable.
Yeah.
Again, you know, John's always open to questions and anything. And so I don't know, but maybe this, whenever you're signing up for a school, and if the actual professor, now sometimes the professor's too busy and they have somebody that does that's fine. But if, you know, they don't say hey or don't introduce themselves to you, maybe that's not a good sign. Maybe you should move
and
on.
John pretty much says hello and goodbye to almost every single person who walks through the door, which is kind
I would
of
say
impressive.
every single person.
I mean, yeah, it's really rare that he misses somebody, I think, because he makes that a point, and you notice it, you know. He always says hello to you when you walk in. Yeah, there's appropriate times, obviously, to ask the questions and stuff, and
Sure.
that's kind of a different situation. Maybe all the what-if questions aren't always the greatest
Sure.
to consistently be asking. It's good to think about the technique and what might happen, but sometimes it kind of can get carried away with what if this happens or that happens, or I'm just going to do that, you know. That's not always what you're there to train that day, you know, so.
I feel like that question goes away at like the third or fourth strike on your white belt.
Yeah.
I feel like that most folks by that time they understand that the what if is probably another class.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
But you're absolutely right.
the answer I got the other day doing the lasso sweep. I'm just like, you know, I'm always the one getting swept. What should I do over here? That's a whole nother class. All right, yeah, probably is. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, some habits die hard. The fourth is students are protected from other students. You know, obviously somebody who's larger, you know, maybe fairly new, or and haven't had the ego beaten out of them yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that, you know, it's important. It's important that the professor set that tone, and you know, certainly ours does. But you know, if that's not the case, then maybe consider someplace else for sure.
What do you think about the places that don't let white belts roll with other white belts?
Man, I mean,
I think maybe it depends on how many people you have there. If you have that luxury.
yeah, I think so too. But you know, that's probably where most of the injuries occur.
Yeah, I would say.
I would think. So I mean, I see the rationale, but I don't. I have a hard time with anyone with them saying you can't roll with someone, you know, of your equal belt, no matter what. I don't know, but I guess, you know, I'd have to hear the rationale.
I just saw
behind that.
it somewhere the other day. Like somebody writing their school does not allow white belts to roll with other white belts. And I kind of get it because that's probably where injuries are going to occur. There's going to be less learning, more of a struggle going on, but I think there's still a lot of value in the struggle aspect when it's, you know, 50-50, but I think you're going to get a lot more learning wise out of rolling with somebody better than you that lets you work and understands the training aspect of sparring more than just the competitive side of sparring.
Yeah, and you know, obviously that would have to be a really well-established school, and you'd have to respect that, because if you know, what percentage of an academy are white belts? I would say,
It has to be the majority.
I mean, 70%. Wouldn't you say?
You would think. You know?
I mean, yeah, because if you just look through the ranks,
And it's like Charlotte's a good example because they've been around for like 12 years or something. You know, long time. They have a lot of upper belts, but I feel like that's mainly who goes to open mats is upper belts.
yeah.
You know, I don't see the school during the week, so I don't know what the fundamentals class looks like.
There's a lot of white belts in it. I see pictures of it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of white belts. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know logistically. I don't think that could work in our academy. I mean, I don't think there's enough. You wouldn't ever be rolling.
Yeah.
You know, and then the upper belts wouldn't be rolling with anybody but white belts, and that's not good,
That's another good point I didn't think about. Yeah.
right? I mean, if so, legit more.
I would tell me that the white belts basically never roll. Because there's no way. Because I didn't even think about that side of it.
Yeah.
That it would be upper belts pretty much exclusively having to rotate out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think about that.
There's no way that can happen.
Now I'm really curious about what that place said.
I am too.
I had only thought about it from the white belts perspective.
Yeah.
I
No.
had not thought about it from the other side.
No, for sure the other side. Because can you imagine? I mean, you would be almost exclusively rolling with white belts. I wouldn't like that. Yeah. So logistically, it wouldn't work. And
Yeah, that would have to
I don't
be
think I agree with it now that
separate.
I talk about it. I don't
That would
think
have to be a
it
whole
would.
like separate class or something, I think.
Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting.
It just kind of popped in my head there. Talking about this, I remember reading it the other day.
Yeah. And then the last point that Avery brings up is your instructor doesn't try to control you. And she rightfully points out there's a difference between establishing and enforcing the rules and creating a cult-like gym environment, right? I mean, you have to have rules that everybody follows. You may not always agree with all the rules, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of one that I disagree with, but I mean, the
You
fact
keep
that
wearing your shoes in the bathroom.
no, yeah, I 100%
Hate
agree
that.
with that rule. That's disgusting, Phil. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I can't even imagine. Again, we're kind of on the outside looking into this article.
Yeah.
Because I've never trained in a place that this has, been an issue or something that I've even noted.
Yeah.
So, but that's just a week's article. Thank you, Avery Clements, for that. I think that it's going to be helpful for those, especially for those who may not have started jiu-jitsu yet and don't know what they're looking for,
Yeah.
and actually do want to do research unlike you.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah,
I recommend it.
yeah, for sure.
I wonder if maybe it applies more to schools that train a bunch of stuff. Could you see that like CrossFit and all the other things? You know what I mean? Like maybe there's kettlebells on the mat. It's not physically safe. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Oops, hey. That was Schluter just now.
Nice.
Yeah. Shout out Doug Schluter. But yeah, so we'll move on to the next segment. We might make this next one a regular segment, and that's Phil's competition tips.
Yeah.
Let's
We had a
discuss-
competition last weekend,
Yeah.
and this is a tip I've never heard before.
Uh-huh.
Just make a friend with a guy that you're gonna roll with, because they're usually pretty cool. So yeah, I had a competition with Elijah, and
Uh-huh.
he also sponsors the Toro Cup like we do. And
Yep.
we had got to talking before the match, and just really cool. Again, another person that does jiu-jitsu, shocker,
Mhm.
great guy, fun to talk to, fun to roll with,
Mhm.
and everything else. So
You
that's one
didn't
you don't
seem.
hear a whole lot.
Yeah, you didn't seem nervous at all.
No, wasn't.
Were you not?
No, that was the first
You
time.
didn't
I've
seem
been
nervous at all. That's one thing I did notice.
Real comfortable, like even before talking to him. I feel like leading up to it, I didn't do anything like for weight cut stuff. I don't care about that. I didn't do anything different in training other than just keep. I mean, I don't know. Like, I keep saying it, but I feel like the more you learn, the more you realize you have no idea what's going on.
Sure.
Like, I'm just all over the place lately with what I'm going to try to work on from here on out for a little while, and it is so many different things that it almost feels like I'm working on nothing because I'm trying to do so many different ones. You know, like I'm trying to do outside guard passing, to work with the pressure passing, trying to do open guard, lasso guard stuff that we just learned, like the 2 feet on the hips that Phil Andy was showing me, the stuff like Joey's doing, trying to like just kind of familiarize myself with it because can't get used to it. That single leg X stuff that Brad was showing me, that X guard that John did in the class, and then I go watch the videos on. I am trying to do 10 million things, spinning in circles, just trying to get something going, I guess, and get comfortable with one of them. And it feels like I'm making no progress, but I'm sure it'll start feeling like some traction's being made soon. But yeah, nothing really different leading up for a competition necessarily. Like I wasn't trying to do one specific thing for it or train any different than I have been. But yeah, it's almost like the like being moved to blue belt like took a bunch of pressure off, right? Because like I was saying, I can't control who I'm going to go against. Like Austin's a blue belt.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I weigh 30 pounds more than him, you know? Like the weight cut's not going to help. And it doesn't matter if I like really try to get good at this triangle setup. I'm not going to do it, you know? He's so far ahead of me.
Yeah.
So I just wasn't, I want to say it took all the pressure of success off and just got back to like, I like competition stuff. I want to be out there. I want to do it. And I just want to roll. And then it's just really cool that the guy is able to talk to me beforehand. Obviously cool guy doing Toro Cup stuff. He does a lot of, I don't want to talk too much about it because I'd like to have him on, like what he actually does. I'd like
For
to have
sure.
him on the podcast, but he does stuff with veterans and everything. And I think that's all really
Great calls.
awesome. You know? So just meet your opponent before the match and become friends with them.
That's Phil's competition tips, ladies and gentlemen.
Make new friends. I'm not even good at that, you know?
You're terrible at
I'm
that.
so bad at that.
You're really bad.
But did it last Saturday, so.
I remember, what was it? You said, how'd you just do that? You remember that?
At which point?
Whenever you said, I was like, do what? You were like, just go up and talk to them.
Yeah, it's weird to me. You just go up and talk to people. I don't know. For no reason. Yeah, it's crazy. But, you know, that's what you do.
It's so funny. So the competition was submission only.
Yep.
Good fight in Huntersville, North Carolina, and man, the team did great.
So good, everybody.
The kids did phenomenal, and I swear, man, I have such a great time watching those kids' matches. It's hilarious. Little Hayden Kuzma. I mean, it was hilarious, and it's so funny because submission only with the kids. It's like, okay, it's going to overtime.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to happen, it's going to, because
you're 5.
they just started training and you're 5 years old. And it was just hilarious. And just smiling, all the kids smiling and having a good time. It goes to, it goes to that kind of the experience. They've been competing for a long time, Tony and Christopher, Gabe, all of them have been competing for a long, Gavin, really long time. And I was super impressed with Gavin too, because he's inevitably always fighting somebody that's bigger than him because he's a smaller kid, weighs less, and even whenever somebody's mounted, his face is just stone cold. You can see like he's thinking about how to get out of this, and never with any emotion, and just.
Well, yeah. And what's cool though is like, I feel like I would have been like this as a kid, and a lot of kids are, where I would have just looked at the kid that's bigger than me, and before the match started, I would have lost.
Yeah.
Because I would have been like, this kid's so big, he's a year older than me, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have lost before it even started.
Man, I don't think that thought ever crosses his mind.
No, it doesn't. And it's super impressive.
Yeah, I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot from the kids and from everybody. You know, it was Yona's first competition. She did really well.
Yours already hit a better takedown than I'll ever hit.
Yeah, for sure. Her single leg's
First try.
way better than yours.
Better than any takedown I could do. Yeah, yeah. She hit one in her first match. It was better than I'll probably hit, at least for a couple more years.
Hilarious. I don't even know if I should mention this, but I'm going to. When she came off the mat after her first match, she was dead tired, and she was like, Jeff, I don't want to do that again.
No, what's so funny is I've been there. I would never say
Everybody's been there.
I would never say
I
it
wouldn't
out
say
loud.
it, no.
Yeah,
but that's just the way she is,
yeah,
you know?
I would never say it out loud, but yeah, after the first match that I don't remember, I walked off and I was like, well, I really don't want to do that again.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. She did do it again, but I thought that was really funny, and so if you guys are interested in Phil's matches, it's not going to take you very long to go through them. He's got 3 matches, and I think the longest one was 56 seconds. Maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so all 3 matches in under 3 minutes, and and I was just thinking about this, but the results, we really don't care about the results. It's not what you do it for. But for the listeners, Phil won the competition. So did Landon. So did a bunch of the kids. It was really, really good competition. They took the kids' team trophy home. Was it a trophy or a medal or something? But
Yeah, it's a trophy.
Yeah, took the kids' team trophy home, and so Phil won, Landon won, gi and no gi.
I mean, what was good for me is I was able to keep composure the entire time, roll at the pace I do when I'm at the gym, never overgrip.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a lot of time, obviously, but I think a lot of that contributes to the fact that I didn't do any of those things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I think Monday I was talking to Luke about it, where he's like, is this the most relaxed you've been? And I said, yeah, easily,
Sure.
And the biggest part of competition for me in the last couple ones going into it is like been mental. Can I just calm down? Can I just do, like we make the joke all the time. If I could just remember all the stuff in the fundamentals program I've seen 10 times, I should know enough.
We should know every move in jiu-jitsu.
By this point, I should know enough to never struggle, but I can't remember anything or do it right, so it's like, but it's just like, my biggest thing has been, can I just calm down? Can I just roll at the pace and the tempo with the mindset that I always have in the gym, and I'll be okay. Win or lose.
Well, maybe a little different mindset than in the gym, because it is a competition. You are it's a different speed, it's a different pace. It always is in the competition, but to be composed at that.
Right. Well, and that's the goal. You won't reach it necessarily, but every time I'm getting more relaxed, more comfortable, and the things are going better because of that. And even the first match that was like 30 seconds, he got an ankle lock on me, and it was whatever.
Yeah.
Lesson learned: don't pull guard that terribly ever again.
Don't
do that.
Yeah. You actually just pulled guard. You grabbed this lapel and then just stuck your foot where an ankle lock would be.
Yeah.
And
don't do
surprise,
that.
surprise, you got an ankle lock.
Lesson learned. So if he did that immediately, it hurt.
You were bruised
for a couple days. It's fine now. But it's lesson learned again. It's pull guard super aggressive. And Manny tells me that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, if you're pulling guard, close it up. Like, don't give me time to pass, because then the next time he just tosses me to the side because he's like, you didn't pull guard. Like, that's your chance. That's what you need to do.
And it goes back to that video that we shared of James Klingerman. It was a great story. I loved that story, where he shared that back in the early days. I think he said it was like, was it 1998 or something like that was what he referenced to with regards to pulling guard. Did you see that one that I shared from James? Or did you
I think I
recall?
did, but you might be confusing two videos. I'm not sure, or I might be.
Okay, so, well, anyway, the gist of this video was, you know, in the early days, whenever he was competing, you know, they would, like, someone would pull guard on him, and he would just go into their guard, right?
Yeah.
Like, he
yeah,
thought
yeah,
he thought it was a courtesy, like, okay, you're
Yeah.
pulling guard, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get in your guard.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you're kind of on the opposite end of that spectrum where you want to pull them into your guard because now everybody knows, and this is what he learned, because someone at the competition didn't go into their guard. He was like, "Whoa, that's rude.
Yeah.
Go in my guard." What's the easiest way to pass guard? Never be in guard,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and so I thought it was a great
Yeah.
story. I
Yeah,
loved it.
it's
I
cool.
thought it was really funny. Shout out James Klingerman, awesome. But yeah, I thought that was really funny. So conversely, you know, whenever you pull guard, you have to pull guard like you mean it. You have to do it. And listen, for those out there, pulling guard is a technique, and it's not something I do often. But guess what? I practice it because at some point I'm going to do it in competition or otherwise. And if you don't practice, try it. If you're out there now and haven't really been a guard puller, try to pull guard. It's not an easy thing to do with control unless you practice it. Just like everything else in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know?
So, but back to that, I was able to keep my head basically and not freak out necessarily after making a giant mistake and 4 seconds into the first match. You know, just kind of stay calm and all that stuff. That's like my competition goal. I don't really care about anything else. Just like keep that composure.
Stay as calm as Gavin. That's my competition goal.
There you go. That's good.
The second, just to recap, so the first match, all 3 matches against Elijah. The first match he ankle locked you. Second match, really slick arm bar. I don't know how it was really fast, really slick arm bar that you did. Caught him in like, I don't know, 40 seconds or something like that. And then
It was the same one. He was kind of doing that like a Masa Pow, I want to say, whatever.
yeah, thrust choke. Yeah.
That kind of guard pass is kind of attacking from inside the guard on the neck, and that's happens to me all the time because people are always bigger than me.
Yeah.
So a lot of people's instinct is to try to attack my neck in the closed guard. So
Yep. Same one you caught me with the other day, training. Whenever I was reaching back to break guard, great, super tight, super fast, really good, really good arm bar.
but that's the same one that we always drill that John shows with the version with the chop.
Yep.
Same.
Exactly. And the third match, and I want to maybe just say I predicted the third match. I whispered to Marshall, he was beside me, and I was like, Phil's going to choke him this match. Sure enough, cross choke, because, you know, that's what you do.
My favorite one.
I
Yeah.
know. I know it is. So yeah, a great competition, great result. And listen, the win is in competing. That's where the win is, you know. So congratulations.
No, for
on
me,
that.
it's I made a friend. I don't do that very often. So now I'm looking forward to
For
seeing
sure.
next week with the Toro Cup.
Well, this is the only way you're going to make friends is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Yeah.
So anybody out there that doesn't have friends and is not doing jiu-jitsu, go do jiu-jitsu. You'll get friends.
Way easier.
Yeah. But speaking of James Klingerman, wanted to talk about his video. You watched his video, kind of let the audience know what you're talking about on that. Did we share? You shared it, didn't you? Or did
That one you did, yeah.
Okay.
One of us shared it, but yeah, it's like all. I think I did. Everything he's been doing, I feel like he's speaking to me because he's been just working from the guard. And yeah, he did a really cool cross choke to an armbar kind of combination stuff, and I feel like I don't connect those two necessarily right now because I tend to go more cross choke and triangle combinations. But yeah, just really cool stuff he does, and then Then he started working on the lapel thing, like you were talking about, being less rapey with that. He uses his foot.
Yeah.
Super cool, which I'm gonna try in an hour or two here when I go meet with Mark. I'm gonna see how that works. Yeah. So then he's doing lapel choke stuff, to cross chokes with the lapel, and then the baseball bat choke. And it's something that's been happening to me. Obviously, everybody knows the baseball bat choke. Like, it's not.
Sure.
You know, best case, you hit it on somebody once.
Right.
You know, real good.
Yeah.
And then they're aware. You know, but
just one quick story. I remember the first time that I got baseball choked, and it was by Jeremiah, and I was like brand new, and Jeremiah was a 4-stripe white belt at the time. I had 0 stripes, and again, I wasn't the best one to roll with, but I'm like, all right, oh my God, I'm gonna pass this guy's guard. You know, I already knew he was good then, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna pass this guy's guard. I pass his guard, and like immediately I was like tapping. I was almost out. Like immediately, whenever he did it, I was like, oh my God. I was like, what did you just do there? And he started laughing. He's like, that's the baseball choke. So yeah, that's my baseball choke story. And I had been baseball choked at the end by Ben Holder, but I kind of know it's coming whenever it happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
some people, you know, usually only takes once. I feel like, but that one's real strong.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but people will see it coming and they'll stop and they'll try to go the other way. And I'm just watching this video and James just switches his hands. You know, thumbs will point one way, they want to go the other way. Make your thumbs point the other way. Mind blowing. You know, and it's so simple. And it's something I've thought about as rolling. I'm like, I know he's gonna go, so like how do I switch my? I don't know why it's that hard to figure out in the situation. But I'm like, how do I deal with him going the other way? Do I like move this hand or just that hand? You know, and then it's obvious as soon as you see it, and you just have to kind of laugh at yourself for being dumb, but just funny, you know. And then the other cool little stuff we did with arm bars and stuff, it's all right there. But it's definitely follow James if you don't yet.
Please.
He has cool stuff.
Please follow him.
But at the same time, you know,
We sound like fanboy. I think
am,
we kind of
big
are
time, yeah.
fanboys. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. There's no denying it. We are. It's fine. No big deal. I don't regret it at all.
But all the stuff he's been doing is like all the stuff that I'm always working on, just a different look at it, you know. And it's even if the only thing I take away is how to switch my hands. Awesome.
That's enough. Yeah. And you know, nearly most of the stuff in jiu-jitsu is that simple. I just don't understand why I can't remember it all.
Yeah.
But I can.
I mean, like talking about that last week, how many times have I been swept the same exact way, but I still don't see the setup coming until it's too late.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You're not doing anything special or secretive. Like, I'm just falling for it over and over again, you know, but it's what it is.
Yeah. And so next on the topics is, you know, I finally got to go down and train with the Fight to Win Mountain Division in Asheville. Shout out to Brad Hanna for a great class. Got to do the advanced jiu-jitsu class where he did some really slick setups for whenever you're kind of caught. It's kind of a bad position where you tried to do a butterfly guard and they've kind of collapsed on you to that low passing position. You know, so dealing with that low passing position, doing a guillotine, doing a kind of a cross collar choke with your guillotine hand on the lapel too, and doing a roll through guillotine or cross collar choke as well. So it was a really cool class, and Kyle tried to kill us in warm-ups. It was really fun. Doing bear crawls, everything. It was cool though. It was a lot of fun, and they got a lot of really good people there. It was so much fun, and they've got something that I've never rolled on before, and that's a floating floor under the mats. It's incredible. Like whenever you're like bouncing on it, it's all like I could see. You know, I've said I just my body won't hold up to judo. I could see being able to do judo on that floating floor mat. really cool, really great academy. Glad that we're affiliated with them. They, you know, they all welcomed me in. It was a lot of fun. It's always good to you know, train with teammates that you don't always get to train with. So yeah, that was my experience with them. It was again a great time, and thanks to Brad Hammer for that. What else? Anything else, Billy?
You can do it open mat tomorrow. You can work on.
What am I going to work on at open mat tomorrow? Well, it depends on where I go to open mat. If I go to the Denver school, if I go to Charlotte school, I don't know if Charlotte school's open.
9:30. 9:30, I think.
Oh, they are open at 9:30? If I go to Charlotte school, I'm going to work on, obviously, defense. So, you know what? Actually, probably this, and not because I'm letting someone get the position, but probably my back defense is probably what I'm going to end up working on there. And maybe even the turtle position some more, right?
There you go.
You know?
Man, I saw Landon work in that turtle position. That guy kept turtling back up on him over and over again. Really had to work to get it. But
Yeah.
I was like, there it is, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, that was really good. But yeah, how about you?
I'm going to try to get that lapel out of my foot.
Man, I can't wait to see that. It's gonna be super
I'm
slick.
gonna
I have a
keep it
feeling.
in my mouth.
Have a boom.
Right in the face. Sorry.
Sorry in
You
advance.
apologize now.
Oh my goodness. Phil, tell people how they can support us.
Subscribe to the YouTube page because that's where all the cool stuff is going. We're
Super
gonna
cool stuff.
Get the live stuff going on there sooner than later. All the videos that are already on there are good. And Facebook, follow on Facebook. The better version of the website will be up next week with a more reasonable way to buy stuff, like a cool shirt and some other cool stuff Jeff is going to start selling, like instructional DVDs on all the techniques he's really good at.
Folks, that is not going to happen because I've collected absolutely none of those techniques so far that I'm really good at. But someday maybe.
So, yeah, the website will be fixed in next week or so. It'll be a little bit better. And Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter's over like 10 followers now.
Yes.
Exploding.
Power on
Essentially
Twitter.
viral, yeah.
Yeah, and that,
So
you know, that's Instagram's going well, right? We've got several things up there. Yeah. So, what else is there? Did we miss anything?
Did I say Toro Cup? We're going to be there?
Oh yeah,
Because
that's
we're
it.
going to be doing that next week. So we'll have next two podcasts should have guests on them.
Yep. Looking forward to it. So we're going to have James Boomer Hogaboom
Yeah.
on the podcast, who runs the Toro Cup and is a phenomenal hype man.
Very good.
Really good hype man. Him and Bagels both. Really good. Solid hype man. And Billy Dowie from Raleigh. And I can't wait for that. Guys, I don't know what to expect with Billy. He's a funny dude. But I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a fun podcast. So, and Joey gets to compete. I think Samantha Seth and Ilea Shell are both competing. So, man, just looking forward to that. That's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it's going to be cool going back again because a lot of those people are the same ones. CJ will be competing also.
CJ is competing. That's right. I did see that.
There, so.
Hey, shout out. Hopefully CJ does well at the Pans this week too. He's at the Pans. My buddy Kirk's at the
David's
Pans.
doing that too.
David Young from
Cabin 5.
Cabin 5 crew. Good luck to David at the Pans this year. That's awesome. Yeah, and my buddy Kirk Pearson.
Brad is there too, right? Brad doing that one?
Is he?
Lucas Evers, was he doing pants or was he doing something else?
Was it Pans? Yeah, I think it was. Is Brad? Oh, we gotta watch Brad's matches.
I haven't seen him in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we gotta watch.
But yeah, a bunch of people there, so I hope everybody does good. But the Toro Cup's gonna be more fun this time because it's like a couple of the same people that I saw last time.
Yep.
And as you become more familiar, it's a little bit easier. It's not gonna be difficult to watch, but you know, it's more fun when you know the people.
I'm super interested. I'm interested in all the matches. There's some great matchups, but I'm super interested in the Vernon Kirk and Chris Luter. I think Chris Luter's doing pans this week too.
Yeah.
But I'm super interested in that match. But yeah. So with that, check us out at Toro Cup. Hopefully you'll be able to maybe come out and attend Toro Cup. It's a great time, it really is. And so if you're not out there doing something to make yourself better, get out there and do it. Phil and I choose jiu-jitsu. Hopefully you will too.
I'm about to feed him to the sharks right now. Get him hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is on. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling it grow. It's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the